Rob,
Would be
Yeah,
five.
they're legally there.
Bob Morgan, Jody, Jeff, and I think Jerry and Doug. 1, 2, 3, yeah.
And Jerry thinks her term's up, by the way.
No.
2012 it was
Oh, I
up.
say Jerry thinks her term's up.
Okay, we got a motion and a second.
One more little thing
Yeah.
involved it. I don't have enough,
Jerry would have been up, I mean, according to this, she runs from 17 to 20.
When was that written?
she wrote that. The
Acco-
other side of this is, I don't have enough members to have a committee meeting tomorrow night, so the committee meeting is canceled. Planning committee for tomorrow.
Hey Doug, I thought I remembered in one meeting.
Did you have
Where she
anything,
was actually
regardless,
expired
is
and
there
not even
anything in
on it,
front of you
and then
anyway,
we
other
appointed
than,
her.
other
That
than,
was
other than?
Well,
sometime-
I'm
Zoning
asking
and-
for that date.
Resetting our
I don't remember what it was. I think it
meeting
was,
time ahead of yours,
June.
so we can get things,
Alright.
that's the only two things we
There's
have.
not gonna be a meeting anyway, so.
Okay, so
All right.
I've got the motion on the floor.
Anybody else? How do you vote?
Doug? Kathy?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
I vote yes.
Yes.
Well, let me ask you guys this. Without a planning commission or without a zoning ordinance, how do you plan to protect the residents? What do you plan to do?
Follow the law.
Okay? What-
We already have enough laws.
Okay?
I'm smaller
They didn't
government.
repeal the code book.
Okay? Well, you can still have still gonna have the ordinance.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
If he doesn't have enough to make a meeting, how do you have enough to make any?
Decisions.
Decisions.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah, he
know.
No, he's saying tomorrow
Tomorrow-
night.
It's just tomorrow night.
But she's saying though, if he can't have nothing, how does
We
he
don't have a
protect
quorum
anyway?
for tomorrow night. That's all.
Just tomorrow night?
Yeah.
Just tomorrow.
Okay, I
Just
misunderstood.
tomorrow night. It's just a one meeting. He can't have it.
Well,
Okay, I
Number
misunderstood.
12,
yeah, I'm
engineering
not-
service
I got
proposal.
more to say, thank you.
We already had that part, didn't we? Wasn't that after the second?
I'm gonna continue talking.
Well, we'll keep
While-
going.
While you folks are at it, Mr. Makel could make a few bucks off you on this, he can present it to you. Back and study the Article 1 of the Pennsylvania Constitution, dealing with text of Section 27, natural resources in the public estate, passed in 1971, court case, June or July, I'm not sure which. This is the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania Environmental Defense Foundation appellant versus Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and Governor of Pennsylvania Tom Wolf in his official capacity as governor. Penalties basically says the government has an obligation to protect its citizens. In not doing so, you'd be violating the Constitution of the Commonwealth. And I sat here while each one of you took an oath and swore to uphold this law, this Constitution.
You're gonna stop because that's not germane.
It is
This the
very
wrong-
germane.
No, it isn't.
It's very germane. You can,
That's-
and
that's
then we'll be
not-
out of order and I'll stop
You're
talking.
completely out of
Okay,
order.
then I'll stop talking.
All right?
Run the meeting.
What's not safe about not having a planning commission?
Just go ahead, guys, and
Missing.
we'll.
Number
we'll-
12,
we'll find out.
engineering service proposal.
Oh, yeah, good.
So, proposals.
Proposals.
I say we table that.
Because we had a bunch today.
We got a
Yeah.
bunch today. So,
These are all proposals right there.
and we still have, Senate Engineering as our engineer until we're gonna, he actually has to send us one yet too, so.
It's there, it's back
So
there.
if
He only
we-
sent
I
one.
have
He's
a
gonna
question.
send more.
Sure, if we table that, then it'll definitely be on the next agenda because it's on the table, right?
Why don't you make a motion to table to the next
table.
meeting?
Okay.
Are you making a
Yep.
motion?
Motion to table till the next meeting, we have time to review.
I'll second that. Doug? Vote.
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
I vote yes.
Yep. Uniform Construction Code proposal for the BCO, I say that goes right along with the,
Oh, wait a minute,
You didn't review that? Or-
you didn't review that, did you?
I never got on these.
Okay.
But everyone, all of these that I looked at, almost all of them have a BCO aspect to them.
Okay, I mean, that's
So-
what, I mean, that's fine, he's in place for 90 days,
Yeah.
you know, that's what you,
So I would say, let's wait because we may be able to kill two birds with one stone there.
So you wanna take, you're making a motion then
I'll make a motion.
to what, table that?
Table that until next meeting.
I'll second the motion. Doug,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Mike?
No.
I vote yes. Doug.
Yep.
Ed?
Yeah. Okay, we're on number 13.
Where?
That's what we just did.
Oh, yeah, 114.
We're on 14. Appointments for the UCC Board of Appeals.
Yes. We're required to have a UCC board.
Do we meet the requirements of the, I thought one of these had to be an engineer and one had,
Nope, it's basically that you either you have to be in construction, or you had to have held or hold with the permits, and Mike Curtis meets those recommendations. I've talked this over with the, again, Ron,
let me, you know, and I know that most of these guys and they're
Mhm.
fine people, but usually when you choose people for a board, it's a board decision. Whose decision is this?
it's what board's decision? It's state law that the.
These were just some people,
Gotcha,
no,
but-
these were just some people we were recommending.
We,
I-
who recommended it? I never
No.
got to ask anything.
You don't answer emails either.
And I'm not gonna answer emails that this board never authorized to have set up.
You need to.
Well, I'm not going to. I have an email address and you may use
I
it.
will not use your personal email.
Well, then you don't have the right to go in and set up my email address without authorization of this board.
Then don't use it, I guess, and you won't get any information.
Is that the way it works? They have my email address.
I.
My email address is not changed. She goes in and sets my own email address for me. So here it is.
I gave you one and a password to change,
So,
because he was using his personal email, which the personal emails that were being used have been responded by people's wives,
You ever get an email from my wife?
not your wife.
Well, then I suggest that you address me to my corresponding
Okay.
email address. No, we need to resolve this.
Well, this isn't the time to resolve it. We are on this. Did all these guys agree to take these positions?
They were just people we were putting out there.
Who's
that
the we, Mike? I'd like to know that. I don't
All
know
we
that.
did was write down some names.
Who's we though? Explain, you said it again.
All I'm saying, these names were written down,
I wrote them down.
Guess it wasn't done, though.
I wrote them down. I called Mike Curtis. I called Jim Bird, and I asked Mike if he knew Jim Barr.
Jim's a good guy, they're all good guys. I don't have a problem with any of them.
I haven't talked, the only one I talked to was Wayne Moss.
I asked a
Wayne
couple
said he would do
people,
it?
Yes.
I asked these people if they knew, I asked
How
Mike,
many do we have to have?
the state BCO says you should have 5 because that way you would have a quorum, but it is.
We can't do anything on it anyway because we haven't talked to all 5.
Yeah.
Or we haven't talked, or if there's any other recommendations, not necessarily anybody's gonna take it, so this was just a point to talk about. It wasn't actually,
Okay.
So,
Well,
like I
we've
said,
talked about it.
I've talked to Mike and I've talked to Jim, and they said that they would.
Jim Bird.
To Jim Bird, not Jim Barr. And then when I talked to Mike, if he knew, he said he knew Wayne Moss. Did you say you talked to Wayne? You know?
yes.
Well, then you should be able to appoint the ones that you have.
So we have 3 that have said yes, but again, I know what the law says. I've talked to Mr. Engler for over 3 hours.
and you'll probably never use these people to begin with. 'cause
No.
I've only done it,
Correct,
I've only done it once in
That's what he told me.
15 years.
We've had
He
one
said,
here.
Have you?
but we are required, you
You're
know.
required to have a UCC, Bill.
I've done my homework over the last
So
2
who-
weeks for everybody in this town.
So of these 5 people, 3 people said they're willing to do it?
Yeah.
Who's willing to do
Dave,
it?
you can make your comments, but I
I
have.
will make my comments, okay?
Hang on.
I don't need nothing from you either, you know?
So who are the 3 people willing to be on?
Mike Curtis,
Hey,
Don't scare
Jim
me.
Bird.
come on. Hey,
I'm telling you right now. don't
come on,
scare
guys.
Guys,
Please?
stop.
me. Yeah, you're the ones
Please.
working.
Dave,
Hey.
please stop.
Please,
Dave,
please.
stop.
All right.
So who are the 3 people willing to be on this board?
Mike Curtis was.
Yeah, he has some type of construction experience?
Mike Curtis used to be our building code inspector. He held all the certifications within
that you could
Because
get.
That you
the
could
regs
get.
say you're supposed to have somebody on there who has some type of building experience, not be an engineer.
Right, and then
Jim Bird has his own
Jim
construction
Bird is
company.
construction
Jim Bird,
company,
yeah. He's
Same with Wayne Moss.
and same with
Wayne
Wayne Moss.
Moss.
They're all,
And Randy Bullen.
but
And
I
Jim
have
Moore.
And
not,
We haven't
Mark.
talked to the other two yet.
I've not talked to the other two, and if anybody has any people, but I just know that we're required to make.
You
a
are
order.
required. So do you wanna just appoint those 3 people? Do you want a table to get the other 2 people?
I would
What
like
do you
to
want?
table it.
You wanna make, you should make your motion to table?
I would like
next
to make a
meeting.
motion to
So there's
table
a
it.
motion to table, there's no there's a second to that motion.
I'll second.
There's no discussion on the motion.
Okay. How do you vote?
Oh, Doug,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
yes.
Yep. Okay, discussion of the CPA QuickBooks adjustments from previous auditing hiring, QuickBooks Pro Advisor PC Whip. I have no idea what that is.
So upon being in the office with Sharon this week, none of the adjustments that Cipher and Cipher have in their audit were performed within the QuickBooks.
Why?
They just weren't done. So before we can do anything, these adjustments all need made because they were to the 2016 books. So, and again, if nobody understands, I mean, you have to know accounting in order to, we have a lot of things in the QuickBooks right now that are backwards. Most people don't understand it, but the liabilities are in there as the wrong, they're in there the opposite way. So what we need to do is, these adjustments need to be made. It will require a person that understands QuickBooks, because when you manipulate the QuickBooks in this manner, sometimes it'll throw things off. He is recommended by QuickBooks, he is what's called a pro advisor. He has helped with our QuickBooks before.
Who is he?
His name is Alan. And his company is.
He's the guy that set them up.
Correct. Yes, he's very good at it. He's very good. I would like for him to come in and take this and make the correct adjustments that need to be made.
Did he give you a proposal?
He bills the town at $125 an hour.
What was 109?
It's $125.
How many hours did he estimate to do it?
Yeah, but yeah.
That I don't know yet, because he hasn't been able to look, he hasn't looked at this and he hasn't been into the
Well,
QuickBooks
can
to sign.
we get that to him? That's a public document, right? That's just the audit.
I mean, Sharon's talked to him today because he needed to help getting the W-9s done. Because we have to do W-9s there's another audit tomorrow through the workman's comp. And the W-9s, the 1099s aren't done yet. So she needed help to do those. So she's already spoke to him, but I'm going to still recommend, I want to make a motion that we hire a certified public accountant as our auditor, because,
Well, the CPA, you can hire,
CPA.
so you're gonna hire a CPA to also do those annotations to your accounting system? Or you want just to annotate, you just do the audit of your books?
Yeah, no,
I would like them to, so it's almost 2 motions, is to hire PC Whip to come in and work with Cipher and Cipher to make these adjustments accordingly to what the audit was.
And once you do that, I don't think Cipher and Cipher can audit your books because
Correct.
Yes.
Right.
that's the rule, the rules require.
Right. And then I'm gonna make a second motion that we elect, we make,
Let's do it one at a
you wanna do one?
one at a time, yes.
Alright.
So what is your motion?
I make a motion that we authorize PC Whip, to come in and work and make the adjustments according to the audit.
From
From
2000.
2016,
How to be paid for?
paid for out of Act 13.
That'll come out of Act 13.
I'm just asking.
And under what exception under Act 13?
Software.
Excuse me?
Software, maybe.
I don't know, I'd like to know what,
There's 13 exceptions, I'm just trying to think.
Hold
where
on,
they
I
come
have,
from.
I printed that.
Do you have that?
I don't know, it's somewhere.
There's 13 exceptions, 13 exceptions, but 13
the
items.
13 hours, I don't,
I know one's recreation, one's whatever.
There's a software management thing.
There's
that's not really what's a software management, that's more of a county function.
this is software, because our software needs adjustment.
I don't,
Not the software, you're not adjusting the software. You're adjusting where the data
You're
is.
letting them use the software.
It's not,
The software has to be adjusted also.
it's an accounting expense.
do you have money in the general fund to take care of this?
We don't know how much it
We don't
is,
know
that's
how-
my
We don't know
problem.
how much is in general fund right now, because, you know,
Because of the way the
because
program's.
of the way that it's, because of what's in that, the way it's set up.
You don't know what's in your accounts?
No.
It's sort of like selling a ship, along the beach, along the coast without your lights on.
But the
Pretty
only way,
much.
but the only way to figure out how much money and what kind of financial shape the township is in is to bring somebody in and fix the QuickBooks.
We don't,
We need to do
the
that before we
accounts
can get
payable
the
are not
account.
input into the QuickBooks until the date that the checks are made, so therefore we don't know at a point when we're sitting there knowing what is waiting to be paid. That's not entered into the QuickBooks program. The other thing is we have liabilities
What
that are in the
basis,
back.
what basis are the books being kept on?
Accrual basis.
Are they?
Yes.
Yes, if you read the top of the reports, yes.
They're
they all
accrual
say
basis,
accrual,
not cash
yeah.
basis?
I mean, if they're not being entered, they're not on cash basis. I mean, not accrual basis.
I understand that, that's what was noted, that was the notation within their audit, that's why I would like what they said to reflect what we have.
But here's the 13 reasons someone ended this thing. Public infrastructure, which is not.
Right?
Stormwater sewer systems,
It's
it's
not.
not. Emergency preparation, public safety, it's not. Environmental programs, it's not. Water preservation reclamation, it's not. Tax reductions, it's not. Housing projects, it's not. Records management, information tech, possible. Social services, no. Judicial services, no. Capital reserve fund, no. Career and technical centers, no. Planning initiatives. So that's probably, records management is probably the only thing you can do because it is a record.
It is, and right now,
I mean, did you ask PSAT that question?
And it needs managed.
Here's what to do. PSATs is gonna tell you the same thing I'm gonna tell you. When they wrote the rules up, the Act
There is
13,
no rules for that, yeah.
that's it. There's nothing, it doesn't say what it's for.
There's no teeth for this, because North
Well-
Strabane was audited, and,
Well, North Serene got whacked,
well, yeah, I mean, they
but they had to pay the money back.
they
Okay,
had to pay it back.
we got a motion, what was your motion?
So motion to use,
We don't have a second yet,
Motion to-
Captain.
No,
We don't have a second.
the motion was to utilize this company to provide some type of records management services, in the amount of $125 an hour.
I'd like to have it.
Yeah, I'd like to have, I would, that's too open-ended. I'd like to. I'm not an accountant, so don't hold me to it. Why don't you give them up to $1,000,
up to $1,000.
up to $1,000,
Can we do two, just to make sure we
up
get?
to $2,000? For a sum not to exceed $2,000. You need to have your books put in place, because if you don't have your books
Right.
put in place, you are having financial difficulty down the
Yes.
road.
Yes.
Down the road,
So-
that's now.
The motion to utilize PC WIP for a sum up to $2,000 to,
Provide records management in terms of audit, whatever that you call that thing.
To reconcile the audit with the bookkeeping system
Yes.
that we have, right?
Yes.
Isn't that what the problem?
that's exactly what
Yes.
the
Okay.
problem is. Yes,
Okay.
that's my motion.
Read it back.
Motion to utilize PC WIP for a sum up to $2,000 to provide records management. Let me put more, let me keep going. To reconcile. To audit.
With the-
QuickBooks
Yeah,
to reflect the audit.
yeah. Okay.
That's my
Do
motion.
we have a second?
Second.
Okay.
Question?
Okay, this is my question. I'm the longest standing auditor at this point. I've been here, this is my 4th year. If you do this, how do I go about reconciling my ending numbers from last year if all these changes are made? Like,
Yeah.
I can't.
Can't.
So what,
You're wasting time. With all due respect, if I can interrupt, you're asking a question, and right now I have a situation in 2 other places. I've had this experience over the years. You can't audit the books till you build the records, is what I always say, okay? You need to build the records first. You build the records and you put things together. Otherwise, you're just spinning wheels. So what they're saying is they need to build the records, put the records together before anyone can audit the books.
correct,
So that has to happen first.
right, and I have a date that I'm supposed to have a report in due by. Is there an extension that you can get on that?
The
DCED.
DECD, that,
DCED.
it is not, it is only a directive, it is not a mandatory date, so therefore,
Can you-
go ahead.
It's my
Sorry.
experience, I hate to keep interrupting. In the old days, when I first started back in the 80s, that you had to have those reports done by, I think, March or April, something like that.
Mhm.
And then because, over the years, it's now been pushed back and pushed back. Sometimes audits aren't submitted by a CPA or auditing firm until the fall of that, fall year, because of the circumstances. So it's not gonna be a problem. I mean, it is a problem right now because you don't know what you have in the bank.
Yes.
But you have,
And my ending numbers are, if they make these changes, I'm gonna start off totally messed up because my ending numbers aren't gonna be the
You
same
have to
as
build
my
the
beginning
records
If you're
numbers.
reconciling the bank account, why don't you know what you have?
I have to ask the treasurer, I don't know if she's I mean, like I said,
Have you asked to ever see one of our bank reconciliations?
no.
I mean, I was a treasurer in 2016, and
Yeah.
every month, the bank statement, I reconciled, every month.
Oh, I
to
know
the
that.
penny.
well, also I'm gonna give you a recommendation. This is something that comes from the bonding companies. Because in the past so many years, I've come across a number of different thefts and insults in the system. Right now, I get people bonded for different places. They're now requiring the different places I represent, whoever you bond, they want, at each township meeting or borough meeting, they want the bank statements sitting on the table, okay? You should have those bank statements. This is Higby Insurance out of Connellsville. They also want you to have anytime you sign a check, they want if you approve at the meeting, they want the check attached to the invoice.
That's what
And that's what the
Isn't
bonding
there-
companies are requiring, because of the problems they're having.
Mhm.
So starting next meeting, I think you should have the bank statements at each meeting,
Okay.
Could that be a photocopy or the actual?
or whatever, I mean, photocopy, nowadays you.
Just to hate to lose the original.
No, if you wanna do, but have the bank statement and have your checks
Well,
attached
these
to it.
printouts that's here giving us financial report should match right up to your check signature.
They should,
Yeah,
but you remember
This is
remember
actually
we had
a
over
QuickBooks.
Claysville Donegal joint years
Yeah, I
ago?
remember.
There was two problems over there we had. So, but now the bonding companies want you to start bringing your bank statements, and they want you to have your checks attached to your invoice before you sign those checks.
Can I make
Yeah.
just one comment too about that? In the Pennsylvania State Auditor's Manual, which is pretty extensive, it basically does say in there that you cannot reopen a closed audit.
we're not reopening it, what we're doing is, when they did the audit, they
They
made
made
some,
recommendations.
they made some
so we're
changes to
we're
some
gonna-
numbers,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And those changes need to then, it's just like when you do your books for anything else, you take what they have, and all we have to do is reflect all those changes within the QuickBooks. So that way, it matches, right now they don't match.
Well, if I'm, to not interrupt, but I believe there was also some discrepancy between our local audit and the time period that they audited. I mean, they didn't audit, I mean, the records aren't exactly duplicates of each other.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is that.
Well, I'm saying that
we
the
had
same
this
time
audit-
period was audited by Cipher and Cipher and our local elected auditors as well. They both audited in 2016, correct? Yeah.
Well, then they would match, wouldn't they?
It should, well, yeah, I mean.
Should be real close.
It should, yeah, it shouldn't be a lot of difference.
Okay, so everybody's gotta get on the same page is what the, all boils down to.
I think everybody,
And the way-
everybody agrees with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
So we got a motion and we got a second, right? Anybody else? How do you vote?
How about you?
Kathy,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
I vote yes.
Yep. Moving on
So,
towards midnight.
do I make my second motion?
What's your second motion?
That we look to hire a certified public accountant
To,
to be our auditors.
For 2000,
for
I tell you truthfully, if they put the books in order, you've got 3 ladies right here, selected by the people.
one just resigned tonight, I think. didn't
As
they?
an auditor?
Oh, no, that was something else.
I don't know, I mean, if there's some adjustments that need to be made, get them made. They should be, it should be a piece of cake for this time through.
Can we, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk, but
Yeah, go
just
ahead.
yell at me if I'm not.
Quit talking.
Sorry. No, if we do this, and we do these QuickBooks, and we change everything, and all of my stuff is totally messed up, and it doesn't make any sense, could we revisit the CPA thing, but still we be the auditors,
I
and
think we
we
can do a
could go
CPA
back
thing
to it?
anytime throughout the
In
year.
2019, we could go back
your
when
question?
everything's straightened up?
the rule says you can appoint a CPA, you have to have, this all came up,
Or,
you have to have you have to advertise, you're gonna adopt a resolution appointing a CPA. And that's, I mean, a lot of people don't do that.
Well, depending on if you want them to do the audit, or do you want them to do some accounting services, you
Well,
still can
you-
have them do accounting
But
services.
if you appoint them as the auditor for the
Yeah.
township, and the elected ours.
Don't have a job,
They don't have it, they're done.
yeah.
Okay, so the answer
They
is
would
no.
still do wages and stuff though, right?
They would still set the wages of those township supervisors employed in the capacity of the township.
Yes.
That's the only thing they would do.
Okay.
The other thing, I think that auditor book says also, if you appoint a CPA or an independent auditor, that basically you can't pay them any more than what you would have paid the elected.
Without the court setting a separate fee.
No, they don't want that too.
They do with that too?
that's gone.
Why couldn't
Yeah.
you
What do you do
just
with that?
for tonight go ahead and
That's
do
fine.
this
I
first
just-
extension and then, I mean, they were elected by the people, they should get to do
Fine.
their job. If you get the book straightened out, then
Okay.
maybe
So-
you
I don't have
will.
an issue.
We got that one.
Did we have a second on that motion?
No.
Then it dies for lack of a second.
I didn't even
Okay.
make a motion.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, go. Keep
Okay.
going.
Okay, temporary trailer fees, business license, I don't think. What is it?
You're up again.
Not me.
Okay, so currently
Oh,
we
sorry.
charge anybody who has a mobile home that they use for an office or whatever, we charge them $500 a month.
Yes.
Okay.
Except that we're not allowed to make a profit, and as Doug claimed last meeting, that's $30,000 that we
Yeah.
make.
There's been times we've made that much. Hold on.
We're not allowed to do
I
that.
don't know how, I've said this for a long time, I don't know how you could justify that.
Well, we justified it by, we weren't getting earned income tax from those folks, and we're paying their real estate tax, and it.
None of those are good reasons.
And other municipalities that were joining us were doing exactly the same thing.
Other
Nope.
municipalities were getting them from the oil and gas wells, not individual
I understand that.
trailers.
So
So Donegal, I feel, has overstepped their
I think
bounds.
it's unconstitutional
Yes.
personally.
Well, then,
Yeah,
they do away with it, guys, I don't
Wait,
care.
let her finish.
We wondered about creating a business license. So that if, we use JD for example, if somebody wanted to come in there, we could create a form that would tell them, say, are you building a structure? Are you moving a trailer in? Will it have water? Will it have sewage? You would know everything they needed, and then you could turn them over to county, and then they would be taxed.
We
No,
also-
county is not going to tax them.
Yeah, they will.
Well,
We talked to them, and
Hold on.
they said that, we talked to them, and they said they would. That if they were hooked up to water, sewage,
Yes.
or electric, that they would.
Who did you talk to?
Who did,
I didn't have to talk to anybody. It's
in the code.
Yeah, it's in the,
Okay.
but they're
Go
on the
ahead.
tax roll. There's places now that are now in the
Tammy,
tax
who
rolls
was the-
because they were
who was the
reassessed.
person- we
Brad
talked to.
Boney's the chief assessor, and I went round and round with him because right outside of Claysville, up by Siemens,
Correct.
that double wide is sitting there scot-free. They will not tax it because they work out of it. They absolutely will not tax it. Beth Lawrence told me they would, so we didn't start charging them the $500 a month because they was going on the tax roll. When she turned it over to Brad, he said absolutely not. And after that, I believe McAdoo's went and got their double wide taken off tax roll
It's on.
because what's good for one is good for all.
It's
They
on,
won't tax them.
theirs is on the
McAdoo's
tax
is on
roll.
the tax roll.
Well, they put them back on them because
So,
When I talked to Marcy, she was going up there, and I told Brad, I said, what about McAdoo's? They have a double wide sitting, why do they have to pay if this, I don't remember, Penn Energy, what was it called up there, Doug, do you remember?
Horizon, I believe it was.
But anyways, they are sitting there and they're not paying a nickel. They're
I'm-
running a business, I mean, they've got a deck on it, they've got,
I was
so-
told if we, as the township, if we report that, then it should go on the tax
we
roll.
reported it. Doug, as a supervisor, sent a letter. I talked to Brad Bonney, I talked to Scott Birchall at McGuffey. He contacted them. It's not taxed, it's still not taxed, so good luck with that.
I mean,
I tell you what I'm hearing, I got a double wide sitting down there beside the shop that I don't have to pay taxes on. Right?
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. Let's vote.
So if we, well, so if
You
we
gotta
had a,
abstain.
no, so if we had a business.
Wait, if that's true, then so do I.
If we had a business,
You know,
Hey,
it
come on, guys,
doesn't seem right to not charge them, they come in and use our facilities. If something breaks down, we have to pay for it, they don't. They use our city water, our city sewage, they use all of our stores.
Well, they pay
I-
fees for that.
If you're
I
not gonna
agree.
charge them, they don't.
Well.
They pay a
what-
water bill and an electric bill and all that.
Who pays
Well,
that? The
what-
campground
Get
owner,
out
or
of here.
resident?
Okay, what
They
I
pay no
think
real
she's
estate,
looking
they
at
pay no rent
is,
income, they pay nothing.
what she's looking at is with a business license and a fee to the township, that we would be able to bring it more to a, idea of a safety where that when something moves in like that, like them, they move in, they have to come to the township, fill out this, for this business license, and at that point, what we do then is, you have on this license, who's your contact, how many employees you're gonna have, because if we have to dispatch emergency service, then we at least have a number of people that would be within it. What are you doing as far as if we need MSDS sheets in order to tell the firemen when they get there that there's, hazards within? Then also too, it would then allow us, do you need water? Okay, how are you gonna hook up to water? Do you need a driveway? Do you need a driveway permit? This would allow us as the town, moving forward, to be able to get a handle on these people.
And again, good luck with
Looks
that,
like an
because we
excellent
try to keep track of who was in the township, and we have people that have tenants that won't give names or anything else, so, and you're real familiar